On today's episode, the Pathmonk Presents, I've got a very special guest with me joining today. Please welcome Mathis, who is the field marketing lead for Hadrian. So for all of you who don't know, this is the digital security insights from the hacker's perspective. So thank you again so much, Mathis, for joining us today. It's a pleasure to have you on the show. I'm really looking forward to learning more about you, what you do overall, hearing your insights and tips you can share with our audience, and overall what your company does in the realm. So thank you again for taking time for us.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Very happy to be here. Yeah, of course. I'm here, to share my insights. Very excited.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm super excited. So now my first question is, tell us in your own words, what exactly does your company do overall?
Yeah, so more technical wording would be that we provide external attack surface management and continuous automated red teaming. But this translated into human language, so everyone can understand, is basically our company explores all of your assets which you have as a company, all the domains, IPs, everything we find, we contextualize it into very nice graphs. And then our team has created thousands of tests which try to breach all of these assets as a hacker would be. So we do this all by outside in. There's no, we don't know anything. We're like a hacker, just autonomously we do this. And we help you out by providing areas where your security is performing worse, where there are issues, and give you a plan of how to the easiest plan to remediate those risks. Yeah, so that's the short version.
Amazing. No, I thank you for giving me an insight as well, because it's really great what you guys are doing. So now in terms of your clients, what sector do you mainly cater to? Or would you say that Hadrian is mainly industry agnostic when you cater to all types of clients?
Yeah, so probably as you can see, as a lot of research has shown, and that probably every company in the world needs cybersecurity.
Yeah.
And we have clients from financial sectors, travel, energy companies, manufacturing. Basically, our scope is everywhere, and probably because everyone needs cybersecurity. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone needs cybersecurity. Absolutely. So now, since you're talking about your clients, how do they typically find you then? What would you say is your top client acquisition channel? So I feel as one of the ways they find you is through conferences and events, but could it also be with digital marketing, maybe inbound SEO or content? Can you elaborate on this for us?
Yes. So basically, yes, correct. We're one of the sources where we find the clients are the conferences, but also we have very great team of sales development representatives who reach out via their own channels and basically bring us clients, but also word of mouth of that some our clients, friends or someone they shared, and basically we start talking with them as well. We are really expanding now on the digital marketing because we are only 2 years old. We are still trying to set up all these practices, and we already have started seeing some return on these, initiatives for digital like content creation, website production, and social media. So yeah.
Awesome. Wow. So within 2 years and everything that you guys are doing, that's really impressive, being able to scale up and being able to move that quickly. Not many companies are able to do that. So I think that's really great overall. So now we're going to switch gears here and we're going to talk about you as a leader. So give us an insight. What does a day look like for you? Who do you work with? Who do you report to? And what do you do overall?
Yeah, so I'm a part of marketing team. Basically I started at the company probably like when it was 6 months old, and I started as a social media intern. I was building all the communication, trying to with the team. We were building the social media blogs and stuff, but then I found the conferences as a great place for me to be in. and started organizing a few events, and now they're growing all the time. So yeah, my typical day probably looks like just checking up on all of these plans, preparing budgets, doing all of these from A to Z. So if there is events, so it's from accommodation, from booth building, from marketing materials, what we need to print. For example, I was even ordering back home where I'm from, Lithuania, some socks. You go to factory or somewhere, and basically everything needs to be from the beginning till the very end, and lead management as well. I have a bit. I'm working with our head of growth, trying to sort this out, and so yeah, probably this entails so much. Yeah.
But I think it's great, you've done a lot within the company and being able to be agile and move and adapt for as necessary. So you've mentioned that you really enjoyed with focusing on events and planning these conferences. What are the things that you have learned along the way when planning these events? Are there things that took you by surprise? Is there anything that you didn't know at first? Give us some insight onto that.
Yeah, so because we are learning on the way,
Yeah.
and we started probably our conference journey with the first big event was Black Hat Vegas, where we had very small booth, and we found some success, but then we jumped on a bit way more initiatives, and but then after probably in the early beginning of this year, we started joining these small scale events. Instead of having attending, like, competing with 300 different companies, we joined a very small event where there's 10-12 sponsors, and there are attendees who are already pre-selected. They're invite only events. There are like 100 people, so you can find a more like a personal connection with all of these attendees. They visit your booth. You can have a chat with them. But probably this is a big insight for me as well, was to realize that these big events usually don't bring as much as those smaller events where you can go for a dinner, can go for drink, or just have a nice connection with people. Yeah, probably another thing is the idea of having a merch,
Yeah.
where people, you can have a lot of silly things, like some plastic things which are really not like, you can buy so much and you can give them away, but those who are interested in your product usually don't care about that stuff. They just want to see it in action. They want to see, play with it and chat with you. So yeah, this is very interesting stuff. Probably insights. Yeah.
Yeah, that is really interesting. So now we're getting close to the end of our interview, and I'm going to ask you some rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Awesome. So if there were no boundaries in technology, what would be the one thing that you would want to have fixed in your role today?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Yeah, of course, no worries. So if there were no boundaries in technology, what would be the one thing that you would want to fix within your role? There was no boundaries and you could fix anything. What would it be?
Yeah, I think having it's not that the technology, but it's having a way of producing the booth designs and everything as a catalog, like a standard, to lower it as much as possible. Yeah.
No, absolutely. Being able to have that in place to make it easier for when you get to the event, everything's in order, everything is built correctly. You don't have to worry about any last minute changes. That would be easier. Now, my next question: what is the one piece of advice that you would give yourself if you were to restart your journey as a marketer today? Is there anything that you would do differently?
Yeah, I think I think that it's more. I mean, I was doing the same probably, but now I understand how important it is to make mistakes and be able to fix them. So just don't overthink it. And if something's wrong, you just change it. That's to keep you less stressful. And sometimes, yeah.
No, definitely. I think that's the one thing a lot of marketers tend to struggle with is knowing when to act and being able to make those changes where, be confident in your job. Mistakes happen, but own those mistakes, correct them so that we can be able to move forward as well.
Don't overthink it.
Yeah, exactly. Don't overthink it. So now we're at the end of our show. And I want to thank you so much for joining us on Pathmonk Presents. But I also want to give you the last word. If anyone were to forget about everything that we've talked today, what is the one thing you want them to remember about your company overall?
I think that your company really needs to have hackers' perspective in your cybersecurity. So yeah, probably that's it.
Definitely. Like, especially as you were elaborating on how the solution you guys have provided for your clients. This is really great because having that perspective allows you to build a better cybersecurity plan to protect from phishing or from any breaches as well. So that I definitely agree with you. So Mathis, thank you so much again. It was a real pleasure to have you on today's show.